Whether it's going back to our prestigious alma mater, North Carolina A&T State University, as a guest speaker, or through her charitable endowment, Sadie's Baby, my next guest, Miss Felicia Bittle, is definitely making a positive impact in her community. She is the owner of FABstyles LLC, which is an image and style consultation company. Oh yeah. Oh, you've seen her on TV a couple of times too. She's definitely doing big things. Stay tuned. Felicia Bittle, Jay Snipes, Generation Motivation, the podcast. Oh yeah, season 6, we back. Let's go.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Big congrats to Free on her new Amazon Music station. Support.
What's up, y'all? I'm your host, Miss Free, and you are now tuned into Rap Rotation Rewind. That's right. This is my new DJ Mo station on Amazon Music, where we play nothing but hip hop 24 hours a day. So stay tuned in. Stay right here. We're going to keep it popping. Let's go.
What's going on, good people? It's your boy Jay Snipes, aka the podcast of the people, back with another episode of Stop it, Felicia. Now you trying to make me laugh. My introduction. Back with another episode of Generation Motivation, the podcast. We about to cut up a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Hey, season 6. Hey, we're trying to get things on and popping, and I appreciate each and every one of y'all for tuning in every week. I took a little break to kind of unwind and just kind of, I guess collect my thoughts and see how I wanted season 6 to look and the feel of it. And, we back. So, and this is not by mistake. My guest on my left, you see that?
Oh, we represent.
We representing.
All day.
All day. Got to. Hey, my guest on the left, a dynamic young lady. We actually went to A&T together. I mean, a few years ago. Not
a couple of parties. There were a couple of parties in there.
Hey, Aggie pride, first and foremost. We gotta do that. But I have Felicia Bittle, and I want to say it correctly. So Felicia is the owner of FABstyles LLC.
Yes.
And she is a certified image and style consultant. I don't normally read, but I want to make sure. Yes, I want to get tongue tied when I, drop all your names and all your, when I chop it all up for you. So
you did great. We worked hard for those names and titles and commas and extensions. Yes,
exactly. Nah, Felicia though, welcome to Generation Motivation, the podcast. I'm definitely happy to have you, and it's been a long time since we've seen each other. So I'm proud of all your accomplishments. We about to brag on you a little bit. So that smile, you got.
Thank you. That smile ain't going nowhere.
That smile ain't going nowhere. Hey, but Felicia, let's start off by introducing yourself, and then we're gonna get into everything that you have going on. So Felicia Bittle, who are you?
I am, wow, that was great. That was a great intro. I am, my title has changed a couple of times, but I've landed on certified image and style consultant because that's almost a hodgepodge of everything I do. I love what I do. I'm passionate about it. I finally landed in my passion because a lot of times we get caught up in what we're good at, but that's not necessarily our passion. And so I work with people individually, one-on-one. I work with organizations. At the end of the day, regardless of all the titles, what my purpose is to present you the way you want to be presented based upon your personality, how you want people to see you. Because whether you realize it or not, you have a say in how people see you and the opinions and the perceptions that they make about you. And I help you to create that.
Yes, I love that. And that, and that fits right into the theme of Generation Motivation. Obviously, how you look, how you feel, all of that plays into the energy that you carry, throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, throughout your life. Yeah. So if you're able to look in the mirror and you like what you see, then that's what you're going to project to everyone that you come in contact with. And then hopefully it's contagious. You're like, man, boy, when Felicia walk in the room, boy, she always smiling. You know what I'm saying?
Smiling, I feel good. When your grandmother or your mother would always say, because sometimes you'll be feeling down, they'd be like, go get your hair done, go get a haircut, go buy yourself something nice, you'll feel better. All that is, you didn't really take it seriously, but it's all true. A lot of the way we look represents how we feel. And usually when we feel good, we look good. And sometimes it's vice versa. I'm looking good, I'm feeling good. It can go both ways.
Yes, yes, exactly. So how did FABstyles come about? Now, was fashion something that you were always into, like growing up, or is it something that one day it was just like a light bulb kind of came on and you know what? I want to make people feel good and I want to make them look good and I want to make them to be the best representation of themselves. So how did you know, what's the backstory on that?
It's all of that. It's really all of that. So my daddy, my father, Henry, we were church going family, right? So every Saturday night, there's 3 of us, me and my brothers. Everybody had to pick out their clothes for church, right? Because we couldn't scramble in the morning. So my father would sit me down and he would let me sit there and he would pick out clothes and he would ask my opinion. What do you think about this? How do you think this looks with that? And we were that was kind of our bonding moment. But I didn't realize that was almost a little bit of training for me because it taught me how to look at size, textures, colors, what worked. And it's just something that we did. And as I grew up, you know how there's one person in your crew that everybody goes to for fashion advice, or they have the latest thing.
I was that person.
I was that person.
I might have been. I don't know.
You probably were, because they'll call and be like, hey, I'm thinking about wearing this. What you think? And you may say, yeah, but maybe put something like that with it. Or I would come with a whole suitcase of things, especially around homecoming.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I would be like, here, put that with that. Put that with that. But it never clicked to me that could be a profession, a career. So, you know, you do these things that are part of your passion, but we've kind of been raised to believe you either need to be in business, go into medicine, legal, like you need to be at a job for the rest of your life, retire. And no one asks you the questions, what makes you happy? What do you enjoy doing? The questions tend to be about, what are you good at? You're taking all these tests about what are you proficient in? Next thing you know, I'm in accounting because that's what I'm great at. Yes. But then you graduate. I graduated with my accounting degree, and you realize, why am I not fulfilled? So you think, let me get a higher position. Let me make more money. Let me get the house. Let me get the car. Okay, I got all that. Why am I still not fulfilled? And so to your point earlier about when you mature, you kind of understand yourself and you grow. I was like, I like styling folks. I like helping people find things that make them smile and look good. And I was watching an awards show and the celebrity introduced her stylist. Yes. And my head, like when you talk about light bulbs, yes, my eyes I was like, wait, hold on, you doing this? Right. Because for a long time, people didn't talk about their stylist. Right. You know, they weren't going to the mall, but no one introduced their style. She brought hers out on the red carpet, like, she's the one that dresses me. I don't do this. And that's when it just started clicking and everything just started. I started Googling, I started researching, and I just didn't realize there was this whole world out there. So that's kind of how it all started for me. It's always been a love. I just didn't know it could be a profession, a career for me. Yes. Yeah.
So was there ever, I'm not going to say doubt, was there ever fear?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So you just stepped out on faith?
I stepped out, I stepped back in, I stepped out. I pivoted, shifted to the left, because for so long, my life has been a deliberate plan. Junior high, you go to high school, you get good grades to get the full scholarship to go to college, you pick out your major, then you go and work in that major for the rest of your life. Where's your husband and your kids? Everything has been a deliberate decision. And to step out on faith in something that you really haven't planned for is a big shift. It could be a mental jar for you. So fear all day. And then I didn't want to fail. Like I was scared to fail. I didn't want people looking like, why is she doing that? And she went to school for all of this and look at what she's doing and she ain't even doing it well. What is she doing?
Right.
So it's fear all day. You just have to figure out what's more important to you, your happiness or the fear factor of it. because fear will keep you stagnant. A lot of people are doing things in places because they're scared to step out of it. And I don't want to live like that no more.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome though. I mean, it takes a lot of courage though. It definitely takes a lot of courage. And then, you know, to your point, and once you step out and then you get a couple of wins under your belt, like, hold on. I got paid to do this. I got my first little check off of this thing. Hold on.
Listen, that money. And then you get to a point where it's not even about the money. Now I got to survive. And your girl likes nice things. Now I like nice things. But it becomes there's a difference between waking up to go do something that you loathe. Like you just doing it because you're trying to live a lifestyle, and waking up and you may not be making that level of money, but I'm not anxious as soon as I get up. I enjoy what I'm about to do. Even on the bad days, I'm enjoying what I'm about to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And the cool thing is, you know, once you start something like that and to be able to see it grow and continuously grow, and like, wow, I remember, you know, 4 years ago, it was a thought in my head. And now it's like, now I have an LLC behind it. You know what I'm saying?
LLC.
I have an LLC behind it. Now
I'm the owner of a business.
you are the owner of a business. You are the owner of a business.
Like those are big deals. Like, and it's crazy, Jay. I never really sit back and think about it until somebody brings it to your attention. So when you were kind of making notes and saying, okay, what do you do? And this is what you do. I was like, wait, I do.
Yes.
Do a lot. Yeah.
Right.
Sleep on.
And don't sell yourself short though. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Don't sell yourself short. Don't sell yourself short. Hey, it's a lot of people that would love to be in your position. A lot of people, like you said, are fearful, and that hinders them from stepping out, you know, and doing it. And which I can look, you know, some people, you don't necessarily have to take a whole leap of faith. You can stick your toe out there and see, you know what I'm saying? Hey, let me test the ledge. Is it sturdy enough for me to come out? And like you said, hey, you step out, let me test the waters. Okay, you know what? It's cool. Let me come on back in for a second and make sure this is straight. And then I'm gonna go back out again. And there's nothing wrong with that either. You know what I'm saying?
I call those resets. It's nothing wrong. I've reset it several times, but I've always come back to this. Even when I've gone back to corporations for higher level positions and more money, I always come back to this. It's a peace for me. And I don't know, I'm just ready to be at peace with what I'm doing.
Exactly. And that's something in my book, I said something about a setback is not necessarily a roadblock. For me, I look at a setback as basically, you know, if you're driving down the street and you're going in the wrong direction, you would want someone to set you back on the right path, right? So God sets you back on the right path. You know, God is not blocking you. He is setting you on the right path to be able to be fulfilled.
I agree.
Walk in purpose. You know what I'm saying? To be able to feel good about what you're doing. So I commend you and I salute you.
Thank you. So that touched me because I recently had a post out there saying, what's yours to have will be yours. Usually what happens, God never blocks your blessings. Usually we are blocking our blessings because we're doing things that are not on our path, that are not within our purpose and our destiny. And God is like, look, when you're ready, I got you. But you got to be ready to do this, and you got to be ready to be focused. And even with everything that's going on with me now, my blessings, it wasn't until I just stopped and I said, you know what, God, we're going to do this. I'm not going to have contingency plans. I'm not going to be like plan A, B, C, D when I feel like it's not going as quickly as I want it to. I'm going to live in my purpose and do your will. And I'm telling you, when I said that and when I prayed, everything shifted. My focus is completely different. If what is out here is a distraction and it's not in alignment with where I want to go, I don't touch it. I don't deal with it. It's not even a temptation for me anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hey, so let's talk about FABstyles. Let's talk about let's talk about a certified image style consultant. What exactly is that? What is FABstyles LLC focus on? Let's talk about your business.
Okay, so I actually describe FABstyles as a tree, right? It's a tree. And in that tree, you have all these branches. One of the branches is around personal styling, wardrobe consultation, image consultations, and basically everyday people, regardless of your income bracket, what you do, I help people develop their image. A lot of times people are like, I don't know what my style is. I don't know what looks good on me, colors, sizes, designers. I help them figure that out. Especially with COVID, when a lot of people were pivoting in their careers, or they're now working from home. And like, what do I wear? I don't know, wear suits anymore. So what can I wear to be comfortable? Or I want my peers to see me as credible and trustworthy. How do I create a look around that? That's all I do. I help create the image you want people to perceive about you. A lot of people think you have to be certain sizes and have this level of money. No, it's not even about that. Everybody wants to look good. Everybody wants to look good. Looking good isn't necessarily about wearing all the designer brands. How do when I go to give a speech, or when I go speak to my students or my director, I want to look a certain way because I want them to receive me. Felicia, can you help me with that? And that's what I do. That may be me shopping on their behalf. I do that. Sometimes we just have Zooms and people go in their closets and we pick out different looks for them for the week or the month. Some people just give me their credit card and be like, hey, give me like 7 to 10 pieces, 7 to 10 outfits, set it up for me, and I got you.
Wow.
That's what I do.
That's a lot of trust.
It's a lot of trust, but usually the first time they get a compliment from what they're wearing based upon what I suggested, that's all they needed.
That's it.
I just need one validation and we good.
Hey, you said one win and then the winning streak starts.
A win is a win.
A win is a
win.
Okay, that's cool then.
That's what I do. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so, I mean, think about it. A lot of your celebrities, they hire people like me. Those celebrities aren't going to the mall and climbing through racks. They hire people. We bring the clothes, accessories, we help them figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, you have a series of seminars. I guess we can kind of piggyback off of that.
Yeah.
So you just kind of touched on it, but why image matters. So what exactly did that series of seminars, or what does that series of seminars entitle? What am I trying to say? What does it encompass? I can't even get the word out. What does it encompass?
So at the end of the day, people make decisions based upon how you look within the first 7 seconds. When you walk into a room and you don't know people and they're just looking at you, when you go for your interviews, when you go to bars or restaurants, people look at you and they make all these conclusions, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent. Oh, he's clean cut. He's probably smart. Oh, he's probably got an education. Or sometimes that's why, our parents would always say, when you walk out that door, you look your best because you never know who you're going to run into. Yeah. All of that is true. So I wanted to do something because originally I had someone reach out to me. It was like, can you please come and talk to my employees? She was the manager at a call center, and she was just saying they're coming in here looking any kind of way. They don't seem to care about their appearance because they're just on the phones. But she was like, it has a big impact, and I don't think they get it. So that was an introduction to that. And I was like, wait, this could work for other organizations. This could work for our kids, our students at high school, junior high levels, organizations. And like, yeah, I need you to come talk to my employees because they're not getting it. And you will be so surprised about how people will do for you or help you based upon how you look, how you present yourself. I guess it's a big deal. And I wanted to also pivot into something else besides styling, but still there's a connecting piece to it. Because eventually, styling is going to kind of wear thin on me. I know me. And how do I still hold that passion, but maybe have it in a different way? So that's why I do Why Image Matters. And it's a really big deal. Big deal.
And you do it for nonprofits and everything too, right?
I do it for nonprofits. I just did it for North Carolina A&T. I go speak with their students.
Okay. All right.
The generation now is a lot about I don't understand why that matters. I don't understand why what I look like matters. Just tell me what you need me to do. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. All that stuff doesn't matter. And I was like, when you go to that bank and if you decide to apply for a loan, you better look a certain way.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, it does until the person on the other side maybe gets to know you. Then maybe you can adjust and pull back on things. But what people don't understand is once that first impression is made, it's very hard to change it. So you need to make sure the first impression you make is the one you want to be received.
Right. Exactly. Mm-hmm. So speaking of impressions, let's talk about WCCB, Charlotte Rising. So how, well, I guess you can kind of, tell us a little bit about how you are, I'll say the resident fashion consultant, but image and style consultant. I don't know why I keep saying it's a difference. She told me off camera, Jay, it's the difference between the two. She scolded me. And I'm still saying it. I don't know why. I just feel like they go hand in hand.
They go hand in hand, but they perform.
That's not what you do. Roles. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's right.
So fashion is literally the actual clothing.
The clothing, the accessories, that's fashion.
Okay. And how you put them together and how they work together, that's you. That's
me. I'm the style and the image around it. That's right. That's right. See?
Okay. Okay.
A&T.
That's right. I'm just trying to make sure because I don't want to, I don't want to keep making that mistake.
Because anybody can go out and buy clothes. You can go and buy clothes, but how you want it to sit on, how you want the clothes to sit on you, how you want people to receive you in those clothes, what's the image you want to portray. All of that is big business. There's a reason why Rihanna's style doesn't look like Beyonce's style and what their styles convey to the world. Yeah, they have image consultants for that.
Image consultants, exactly. A lot of times, I'm about to drop a new album, so now I'm changing my image because I have a new album coming out, or I might change my hairstyle, or I might, you know what I'm saying?
You remember? You reminded me. You remember how Janet Jackson, for every album that came out, she had a completely different image. Every album, they don't do that as much anymore. But she had a completely different image look every time an album came out. That's what we do because you're trying to portray something different and new and fresh.
Fresh, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so but let's talk a little about Charlotte Rising and how you ended up being on television. Let's talk a little bit about that.
So I got a call actually, and that's why you have to also be careful about how you treat people and how you handle yourself on social media and all these outlets, because you never know who's watching. They were looking for someone to come in and just talk about fashion. And the gentleman I work with, Joe, who's also a commentator on the show, he suggested my name. But I had met Joe through somebody else, and he was like, oh, you're good at what you do. And you meet people and they compliment you and you just leave it alone. I didn't ask what he did or where he worked at. Next thing I know, Joe was calling me and saying, hey, been watching you, love what you're doing, great stuff. So like the websites and doing things with the students, all these things, people are putting your names in rooms that you don't even know about. They called me. And in my mind, even as a stylist, I'm like, okay, what's the impression I want people to get? Because this is my first time. I want to come back. So I had to make sure I had my ducks in a row. What did I look like? Because as soon as you say you're a style or image consultant, the first thing they do is look at you.
Right.
And I'm like, let me make sure I look the part. Let me make sure just is what it is. And so from there, they enjoyed what I did. And it just went from there. And so they invite me back when they need someone to come and talk about fashion.
Okay. And so you were just on there recently. Now, granted, this
morning.
Now, granted, this will be in April. This is pre-recorded. But what did you talk about on the show this morning?
So they wanted me to come in and just talk about the fashions during the Oscars. Oscars took place last night. What was a hit, what was a miss? Why are some people wearing this? What were some of the trends? What did you notice? Just conversations around fashion. People are overwhelmed with fashion. And I think seeing someone like me, someone relatable, and we're just talking it out. And there's no right or wrong to it. It's about what resonates with you.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what we talked about. We had a good time.
You had a good time. Now, I do want to throw this out there now. and I'm not talking negative about.
Okay.
But what's going on with these red boots that I'm seeing on also? Is that real? Because see, at one time I thought it was like Mario, the movie was coming out, so I
No,
thought
those boots are real. Those boots are real.
real.
Well,
Okay.
you know me. So me and my other fashion stylists and consultants, we had a conversation. We couldn't tell if it was this broad conspiracy experiment where they were trying to say, if we slap a high price on this,
Yes.
no matter how ridiculous it looks,
Yes.
people buy it. That's what our theory is, because those boots aren't workable, wearable, but people bought them and then set it up with outfits. And I'm just like, you only gonna wear it one time. And it was just, you know who else I feel about? Like a lot when the Kanye West shoes came out, the Yeezys, I didn't get it. And I couldn't tell if people were just buying. I mean, these are expensive shoes, and I don't even think they look good, but people were buying them. And so I can't tell if people are like, well, it's got to be something if it's at this price point.
Right.
So let me get it. But yeah, I just think people like, it's new, it's different. And then it gets you attention, whether negative or positive, you're going to get attention. If that's what you're looking for, no, blues are exactly what you're looking for. But I was just like, y'all got to be kidding me.
I promise you, I thought, because I know,
y'all got to be kidding me.
I know the Super Mario Brothers movie was coming out. So I was like, did he wear red shoes on the game? And I was trying to, I promise you I did. I was like, hold on. And then I started seeing certain celebrities wearing them. And I was like, this is real.
This is real. This is real.
Wearing these shoes.
I said, oh, they're doing this on purpose. And Jay, but it also brings up a point that is sad. Like, if it has a price on it, regardless, you kind of just excuse whether it makes sense or the rationality behind it. I got to have it. And I'm going to say this. Did you see the Payless, when Payless did an experiment, a social experiment, where they changed their name? They had the same shoes, but they marked them up by like 200%. Selling out left and right. And it was like, but now, our society has created that if it's got a price point, it's got a certain type of name like luxury or designer or custom, oh, we're going to buy it. Even though you just had it for almost 200% less and you never looked at it twice because it said pay less at the top.
Exactly. And you know what? And I will say this, that's exactly what's happening with Adidas and the Yeezys.
Yes.
So Yeezy's name is removed off. Those are the same shoes. You standing in line and they were selling out. Now, since they're no longer called Yeezys, but I don't know, I think they worked something out for him to help sell the rest of the inventory. But when they were not called Yeezys, but they were the exact same shoe, you don't like them now. See that's crazy.
That's crazy. That's why you have a lot of these shoe companies working with high-end celebrities, because some about once you throw their name on it, then you could change the price points. Then somehow it becomes exclusive, but that shoe has always been there and you didn't want it until I increased the price. And these are the people, can you even afford the shoe? Like, it's just this whole thing. And that's even around image, right? If Beyonce wears it, it's got to be dope. So let me get it, even though I can't really afford it, or it was the same shoe last week for less money, I didn't want it. But Beyonce has it, I got to get it.
You got to get it. Exactly.
I got to get it.
Hey, let's talk about your endowment. Let's talk about Sadie's Baby and how that came about and all the great things and the wonderful things that you're doing with your endowment.
When COVID hit and I had to kind of sit, and I don't know if you went through this as well, but I'm sure a lot of people did, and I had to sit in it. And I wasn't necessarily going to events anymore, and I wasn't running around trying to do work. And I was sitting there by myself. I'm single, no kids. And I was sitting there thinking, what is my legacy getting ready to be? I mean, what am I leaving? My designer bags, my house. Like, what am I doing? And you don't get a chance to really sit in your thoughts because all you're doing is running all day, every day, doing the norm. And when I sat there, I was like, who do I want to leave a legacy to? Yeah. And I thought about A&T.
Yes.
And A&T specifically because A&T raised me. And I love the university. I love the work they do with our students and how they're making impacts. So what can I do to help them? And to be honest with you, I never thought I could have an endowment because I just think of philanthropy and I think of ballers and all these wealthy people, and anybody can have an endowment. You're just pledging a certain amount of money over 5 years. And I was like, I could do that. I can do that. I talked to a young lady named Bridget, who's also an A&T alumni, and she was like, Felicia, it's not just for the wealthy. You can do it. And I was also struggling with the passing of my grandmother. Okay. And I didn't know how to, I wanted a legacy for her too, if that makes sense. I didn't want her to just pass and I just had memories. You know, I wanted to do something to remember her. And I wanted her to be proud of me with something. And so it kind of helped with both of those, doing something where I'm leaving a legacy, a positive impact, and then I'm remembering her because it's in her name and I make sure to reference her at all times. And the endowment is really for students who are in need of help with transportation to and from school. Do you remember when we would try to get home and you're trying to figure out who you're riding with? Right. I want to help students to where they ain't got to worry about that. Right. Or if your car breaks down or you don't have a way to get to school, let that money help. Or if you need temporary housing and you need money to help pay for that. That's what my endowment does. It helps students with housing and transportation to and from school. That's one thing I don't want them to worry about. But I remember sitting at the holidays and they closed the universities and everybody just like, how are we getting home? And I was blessed because I lived in Charlotte. My parents would come get me. But for a lot of students, they would go stay with the professors. They would go stay with friends because they couldn't afford going back and forth. Right. That's what the endowment does. And I'm so excited about it. It's about 2.5 years old. It's sitting at roughly $40,000. So I'm excited. I'm excited about that. People will give if you just open up and ask them. And I don't know. It's just, I feel good about it every time I talk about it. I used to boo-hoo every time because I would, it's for my grandma and I miss her. But now I just feel like she's sitting on my shoulder like, that's my girl. That's my baby girl. Do it. So it's named after her.
She would definitely be proud. She is proud. Not would be. She is proud.
Yeah. Yeah. Positive impacts all day. And even when I leave this world, that endowment isn't going anywhere. It's going to be there as long as the university is there forever. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, we're winding down. We have.
Are we? I'm having such a good conversation.
I know. Hey, we have about 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. 2 questions. I'm piggybacking off of your last response about legacy. So what do you want your legacy to be?
I want people to remember that, oh, wow, wait. I want my legacy to be that you can be anything in this world. Mm-hmm. Even pivoting, even changing your mind is allowed. Your happiness is key. And I want them to look at me and say that Felicia, she did a lot, but she did a lot of good work. And everything she's doing somehow makes this world a better place. That's what I want them to do. I also want students to see that we don't just sit in these silos. You could do so many things. Even though I was an accounting major, I took that accounting degree and I made a business out of it. It doesn't have to look like this cookie cutter expectation that we get a lot of when we're trying to graduate from school. Oh, you should do this, 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 this. You can do whatever you want to do. Make yourself happy. And I like that people notice my smile because my smile is genuine. I'm happy. I'm literally a happy woman. So I want them to see that.
Right. Okay. And my last question is, since it's Generation Motivation, the podcast, and I always say this, I leave it for the last question and I go through a whole interview and people have always touched on it, throughout the interview. So to kind of sum it up, how do you feel as though you're motivating your generation and generations to come?
Through my actions. I think we speak a lot about what we want to do, what we plan to do, how we're going to do it. We're thinkers like that and we speak it, but nothing is more motivating to other people than for them to see you actually put it in action, right? People have come up to me several times, high school friends and people who graduated with me, They said, you know what, you used to talk about stuff like this, and now you're actually doing it. And it motivates people to say, well, what do I want to do? I can do this. I can do something. What do I want to do? And how do I put that in play? And they'll come and talk to me. How did you, just like you asked me, how did you decide to take that risk or put your big toe out there? You motivate people through action. They're not necessarily motivated through success, because success means different things to different people. They're motivated by seeing you actually keep your word and do what you said you were going to do, regardless of how it ends up. They remember the effort. They remember the action. That's how they're motivated.
Felicia Bittle.
Yes.
Any last words? Any words of wisdom? Any advice for those that are, maybe hoping to follow in your footsteps? Maybe not necessarily, being a style, style consultant or anything like that, but just in general. Any last words of advice?
My advice has always been, do not be afraid of the pivot. Because, so much of us is built on, I'm planning out my life step by step, 1, 2, 3, 4. But sometimes things happen and you have to shift. Do not be scared of the shift. Don't feel like you have to come back to who you were originally. Embrace it, learn from it. What is it trying to show you? Enjoy it, live it. Sometimes a pivot is nothing but a reset to say, all right, what is it that you really want? What's going to make you happy? What do you want to do? Embrace the pivot. That's what I would give people as advice.
Embrace the pivot.
Uh-huh.
Hey, so how can people connect with you, your website? And once again, I'm going to list everything, when I post it, but how can they reach out to you? How can they, hire you for your services, all of that stuff? Where can they find you?
My website is FeliciaBittle.com. All of my services are out there. Information about the endowment, if you want to give to that. Also, my seminars on why image matters. All of that is accessible with your fingertips. Instagram is FABstyles NC. And I'm also on Facebook at Felicia Bittle. So reach out to me. But if you Google me, you'll find me there too.
Oh, okay. Hey, okay, like Shaq said, Google me, huh?
Google me.
Google me. Okay, all right. Felicia, hey, it's been awesome.
Great, Jay. This has been great.
Chopping it up, having this conversation. I really appreciate you, coming and giving your words of wisdom. Hey, just continue to, effect positive change with everything you're doing. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Yes, and I'm proud.
Don't make me cry.
Don't make me cry.
I feel it. I feel myself tearing up.
No. Hey, look, I don't have time to make you cry because I got 1 minute left. But nah, seriously, I'm really happy for you. Keep doing big things, and we're going to continue watching you.
Thank you.
We're going to connect with you, and we're going to continue to watch you grow and prosper. So we appreciate you.
You are so welcome, and thank you, because I am. Whenever somebody reaches out to me for things like this, I'm honored by it, because you could reach out to others, but you decided to reach out to me. So thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Hey, and to you, the viewer and listener, hey, we definitely appreciate you tuning in to another episode of Generation Motivation, the podcast. I am your host, Jay Snipes, aka the podcast of the people. That's Felicia Bittle. Hey, look her up. Google her. That's what she said.
Google me.
Google me, doggone. Hey, and until next time, just think about how you can affect positive change in your community. You don't have to be a celebrity. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to be wealthy. All you have to do is have a heart and the desire to make positive change. Until next time.
Amen.